Hey, this is Cameron and welcome to the practice log. Whoa. Trying to keep your attention with this one. Whoa. Oh man, I got so much stuff going on and I'm going to talk about it all here right now. Uploads have been slowing down a bit. I've been running on my minimum upload schedule, which is every other day, which is still a lot, by the way. So, feel free to congratulate me on that in the comments section. A reaction video is coming out next, so, bear with me in this practice log. I know some of you like these though. By the way, let's go ahead and talk about what a practice log is. It consists of three things. Small talk, that's where I'm just going to talk to you about nothing that you care about. Second, I'm going to answer your questions, which is something that exactly one of you cares about, because it's going to be one of your comment questions. And then I'm going to play something for you. And today, I'm going to be playing, and we're kind of leading into the small talk. We're going to do things a little differently with the playing. I am not going to take several takes of this piece. I am going to, after talking for 30 or 40 minutes, which is like how long it takes to film this, I'm going to play the Prelude to Beethoven 997. We're just going to see how it comes out. Kind of cold. I'm not like cold per se, but like no warming up for it, no like 5-minute rest stroke practice, just go in playing it. And the reason why I want to do that is today at 8 p.m. at the university I go to, I'm going to be playing before my professor's recital, which is his practice recital for the competition or festival that we're going to. So he's letting me and the other people from App State who are participating in that competition just play a piece before he plays a set. So that'll be interesting, and it'll also be the first time I've ever played anything on stage. Classical guitar. I mean, I've played guitar on stage quite a bit. Electric guitar, which is super easy. Classical guitar is a whole different thing though. Which is funny to say that, because I feel like as a YouTuber, as a YouTube personality who has made guitar part of his sort of shtick, you kind of expect me to be a professional classical guitarist. Well, I'm not. I am a grad student, old grad student. I'm 27, but one nonetheless. And I'm not a professional guitarist, and this is my first time performing in front of people on a stage. So I'm probably gonna be pretty nervous, and don't worry, I got these right here. I've gone through a lot of lapel to phone solutions, and these are by far the best. I'm not sponsored, but just from what I've used so far, I really like them, and I will be recording it, and I bet you now I'm gonna do something to where the recording's gonna sound like absolutely awful, and you're just like, wow, that's your favorite solution? So far, they seem really good. Like, they seem almost as good as the mic setup that I have now, except just connected to your phone, so you can just film with like great audio with the phone. So it's like having camera equipment. It's awesome. So however I play on stage today, I will be posting that probably in the next practice log. Not as a standalone video, because I'm not trying to get obliterated. Especially after all the crap I talk on Marcin and Ichika and stuff. Am I miming to that? No, you can tell I'm not miming. But yeah, so what I play for you today is going to be what I play in the concert today. And I'm going to do it cold, just as I probably will in the concert. And no matter what happens in the performance that happens right here, we're going to see where the weak points are and what I need to furiously practice for the next 6 hours or so until I have to go on stage. Other things, small talk. I'm leaving for the competition tomorrow. It's a long drive. I'm not going to say exactly how long, because I'm going to be vlogging a lot of it. And we're probably going to film some practice logs. Heather and I are going to be talking. There's 2 lapels on here, so the car, showing off various places that we think are cool, whatever. And I'm trying to give you as little information as possible to avoid being geolocated. But of course, in the vlog, I will disclose exactly where I am, just not before the vlog. It's a crazy world out there. You gotta be safe, people, especially when you're slinging stones like me. So a lot of stuff happening. It's definitely been affecting the upload schedule, but of course, it's kind of nice having other things going on in my life other than watching Rick Beato videos, so that's good, but I promise you, that's coming back soon. And I might try to film one reaction video before I leave. I have maybe an hour to do that, but we'll see. It'd be nice to have a little something familiar for the road, so it's not all just vlogs. But I think regardless, it'll be fun, interesting videos that'll kind of be like a throwback to what I used to do, where they were kind of just like vlogs in my apartment. I'm sure I'll be creative with it. We'll see what we get. So that's what's new with me. There's a whole thing happening. This is gonna be the last regular video for a little bit. There might be one more reaction video sprinkled in. We'll see. Like I said, hey, how's it going with you? I hope your practice is going well. Hey, let's go ahead and get the show on the road and answer some comment questions, so then I can play for you and then we can all go home. Where's my phone? Oh man, it is crazy, guys. On top of all that, grad school too. Oh my god. My life used to be so simple when all I had to do was just do YouTube stuff and then practice, and now the whole grad school thing just throws a real monkey wrench into my life. It's good though. I enjoy it, but man, I got time for nothing. And it's a shame not being able to berate your feed with sore hands videos every single day, but we will come back to that. Anyways, Hey, this is a question from Baby Lom, friend of the channel. How's it going? You said, yo, Sir Sore. Whoa, Sir Sore, alright. Going from Mr. Hands to Sir Sore. I like that a lot better. So you can call me Cameron, Sir Sore, however you want to address me. Just don't call me Mr. Hands. Please stop calling me that. I don't like it. Please don't call me that. Mr. Hands was my father, okay? I'm just kidding. Sorry, Dad. I was wondering when you started playing guitar. Anybody know? I know. I started playing guitar when I was 11, and I actually didn't even start with guitar. I started with cello in the 6th grade, and I played that for like 4 months. It was half the year or so. But throughout that whole I had a crusty on my lip. Hope that wasn't visible the whole time. Do I have snot dripping down my nose? I'm a mess. But that whole time I wanted to play guitar. And in fact, as long as I could remember, even as an elementary schooler, I always thought guitar was just the bomb and I wanted to play it. And all the music I listened to was guitar, rock, based, even though I didn't play guitar. I just liked the sound, I guess. I don't know, I just always kind of knew that was in my future. So cello was close enough. My dad had a guitar. Boom, we're playing that thing. So I was 11, to answer your question. You said at a video, if you start at 14, you ain't gonna be able to go high level. Did I say that? That's a very ignorant thing for me to say. There are tons of people who've started at 14, 15, 16, I'm sure, who can play very well. Now, if you find somebody who's like in their 20s and they're virtuoso status, professional, straight up like savage killer guitarists, and if I were a betting man and had to bet on when I think they start playing guitar, I would say something along the lines of like 8 to 10. Just because that's the most likely scenario. The longer you do it, the better you're gonna be, especially when you're so young. But plenty of people get good at stuff later, and even as an adult, you can get really great at classical guitar. Like, what are we talking about when we say like high level, you know? I feel like you can have a high level interpretation of anything as long as you know music well enough. You don't even necessarily need to be a guitarist for that long. Like if you're a pianist your whole life, for example, and you start playing guitar, you're going to know how to interpret Bach really beautifully. And you're already going to have this mature interpretive style that you've been developing the whole time. So when we say high level and like maybe you're missing out on certain technical aspects if you start later on in life, what exactly are we missing? Instead of getting a 150 BPM rest stroke, you can only get to like a 120. Okay, you're not missing out on much, is my point. And I think we often lose sight of this. The whole point of making music is to make something that like connects people and is beautiful and is not just like flashy, showy, like phenom, like athletic ability on the guitar. So at 14, you're not gonna get high level, ... Wrong! I started playing guitar at late 13 and I developed my technique quite a lot. Well, you didn't start at 14. That's the cutoff. Hey, you're over 14, you're not going to get anywhere. Sorry, you were 13, late 13. So I'm right, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you developed your technique quite a lot. Of course you did. Like, you can learn things after turning 11. Surely. Like, you can. I didn't become a pro or anything. Not yet, you didn't. Maybe keep practicing. But I can play all sorts of classical pieces, Bach, Targa. You can absolutely learn good guitar at the age and think even if you start older too. No, you just gotta work hard and not ego lift, in quotations. That's interesting that you compared it to ego lifting because I've been working out a lot recently. Yesterday I benched 57.5 pound dumbbells incline. I got 4 sets of 11 and then my 5th set was 12. Going up in reps. What's up? I think last time I mentioned it, I was at 55-pound dumbbells. So that's been consistent. And ego lifting, in case you're not a lifter, it's when you go for a weight that's way too heavy for you and you're forced to employ bad technique or some kind of like body English to try to lift the weight just to get a number, like, or to check a box, like I lifted this weight. When really that's not the point of weightlifting. The point of it is to lift a weight that you can lift with proper form where you're not going to jeopardize your tendons or anything and you're just stimulating the muscle, and then you wait a day or two and you don't damage it so badly that you're like out for 2 weeks or something, but you just stimulate it so that after a couple of days eating enough protein and food and stuff, your muscle is recovered and it's slightly stronger than it was. It's just little adaptations. And that's how you're supposed to do it. Like, you know, supposed to, I guess. Like, that's the effective way to do it. Minimizing injury and getting maximal results. Now, there's a lot of resources, like, mainly, at least what I'm familiar with, are non-academic, informal YouTube videos of lifters, just because it's so popular that there's a lot of talk about ego lifting, and it's something that's easy to avoid, even if you're new at lifting, just because people talk about it so much. And I feel like the equivalent of ego lifting to playing guitar is something that is, like, less talked about. I almost feel like it's encouraged sometimes. And And it basically amounts to being a novice in guitar and then having a dream piece. Like you want to learn like the chaconne or a Bach fugue or something like that. And you are like barely playing Arctic Monkeys, but you still want to go for playing the big boy stuff. And then you just go for it and you spin your wheels for a really long time and you make a lot of compromises and sacrifices, and you just don't develop your technique to play these things. You're just trying to get a means to an end. You're not trying to actually improve your guitar technique. I guess my point is, when you're young and immature, like let's say like 11, I think that's a pretty standard age to start learning a musical instrument. If you don't have proper guidance, it can be pretty tempting to ego lift. And I think that can go one of two ways. One way, you get the ego lifter who is extremely determined, and that's why they're ego lifting, because it's like, I should be playing the chaconne right now. I know I can't, but I'm so determined that I will spend years on this. And I will learn what I need to learn to do this. And it takes them way longer than it needed to. But they did do it. And then every mistake they make later, they correct it with proper teachers. And they're at a very high level from sheer determination. And that's kind of the dream. Some people can do that. I've even done that to an extent. I've known people who have done it way more to an extent. And they're rare, you know. And I look at them, they're like phenoms. And then for the majority of people, I think how it would go is you go for that dream piece. And then it's like trying to hike 1,000 Mount Everest in one time. Like, and you even conceptualize that. It's so hard. Then you just give up and you're like, music's too hard. Music's not for me. But you're literally like somebody who's new to the gym showing up at like a 315 bench and just like trying to go for it. And it's like, you can't even bench the bar yet. And you're just going to go ahead and say like, lifting's not for me. It's like, no, if you have proper instruction, you might get to the 315 bench. That's like the chaconne. That's what I would equate that to, maybe. So the instruction's really important, especially at a young age. Especially if it's your first instrument and you're new to music entirely. Instruction is extremely important. Or like consistent results across a plethora of children where like most of them are actually reaching this place. But I guess my point is that I'm glad that you got somewhere with your guitar playing. That's really great. If you're trying to get into guitar playing, if you can find some kind of path that doesn't involve the ego lifting thing, that's good. That path can be kind of hard to find, though. I feel like lifting is a lot more straightforward. Just lift a lighter weight, right? For guitar, you know, you have this music you want to learn, but now you have to learn like different, easier music to like eventually learn this music. I need help. I need an instructor. That's what I would recommend to anybody. Whoa, I just somehow framed this question to just say that teachers are good and you should hire them. I'm sorry, I'm on like a time crunch right now. I'm like freaking out a little bit. Hey, you know what? We're gonna keep this one short. Just one question answered. Hopefully that was coherent. I am going to play the Prelude to Beatle 997. Completely cold. I've been filming for 23 minutes, so it's been about 30 minutes since I last played guitar, which actually isn't too bad, but let's see how we go. is. That was one take. I had a memory slip. I had a few memory slip, and in fact, I think I played that kind of like aggressively, and I don't think it should be that aggressive. Hopefully that came across as like passionate. I don't know. I'm gonna do another like hour or so of slow practice on that, especially in that memory slip area. It's that first page. I don't know what's wrong with it. The same thing happened when I was doing a little like practice performance with the other people at school. I had a memory slip around the same area, and my teacher had an anecdote about Manuel Barwaco. You know, the party animal who never practices. If you're an old watcher of Sore Hands, I literally said that about him. But he said that his worst concerts were always at the end of his concert series, because he's not practicing the pieces, but more like playing them without like kind of going back and like solidifying the memory. I kind of equate running a piece to like driving a race car, where when you're driving at full speed and you're like really and going through the turns and stuff and like doing all the things a race car does. Formula One fans out there you go. There's going to be wear and tear on it, you know? Like, if I keep playing Beetle 997 just full speed with my interpretation, I can play it a certain amount of times, like a certain amount of laps I can go around, but eventually it is going to start falling apart and malfunctioning, and you need to take it back to the pit stop and just really look at it under a microscope and just see all the little fractures and stuff, what needs to be changed, what needs to be repaired, because you can't just keep running the thing forever and ever. That's not how anything works. So, right now, that piece is in the pit stop, and I'm going to be playing it twice under like 2 high pressure situations coming up. Same thing with the Rodrigo, Sonata Giacosa. I need to look at that too. That one's fresher though, so I feel like I still have a couple more laps to get out of that one. But the Prelude, I've been playing that for a bit now, and I felt it yesterday like kind of break down when I've just been running it through the laps and it's been going fine, but finally it's happening. And thank God it happened during the practice one, so I know that I can actually work on it now. But yeah. Alright, well, I gotta wrap this one up here because I have stuff I need to do and potentially another video to film. Thanks for stopping by this practice log. I appreciate it. And I got some crazy stuff coming up soon. Man on the street. I'm going to be doing pranks. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be pranking anybody. But you know what? Maybe I will if there's enough likes on this video. Maybe I'll do guitar-related pranks. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. Of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Be sure not to ego lift. Practice the right rep for you, and rep the right weight for yourself. Of course, Rootin's Delight, head on down over there. Guitar lessons, I don't offer them, but feel free to send me an email if you just want to say something to me. Give me videos to react to, of course. I appreciate that. And yeah, alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.